Hi, I'm Jim Rickards. I'd like to talk to you today about my new book called The New Case for Gold. This is a book I've been working very hard on, and I hope that it serves a purpose which is primarily educational. But gold is one of those subjects that is very, very difficult to talk to people about or explain to people because there's so much weighted on the other side, so many skeptics. If you even mention the word gold, you're inviting ridicule. People call you a gold bug or a gold nut. You know, people say Maynard Keynes said that gold is a barbarous relic. He actually never said that. When he used the phrase barbarous relic, he was talking about the gold standard, the gold exchange standard of the 1920s, and you know what? He was right. The purpose of the book is to rebut and refute and explain all those really canards, things that are not true, and explain why gold is money, is a form of money, and belongs in every portfolio. I call it the new case for gold because it has some new 21st century arguments. Even if you've been in the gold market or a gold investor or you're familiar with some of the old arguments, that's fine, we cover that ground, but there's some brand new arguments as well, things that don't go back to the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, but are actually 21st century arguments for gold. You know, one of the canards, as they put it, people say gold has no yield. Well, that's true. It's not supposed to have a yield. Gold is money. Take a dollar bill out of your wallet, look at it. Does it have a yield? No. If you want a yield, you have to go do something with it. You can put it in the bank, you can buy stocks, you can buy bonds, you can do a lot of things, but every time you do one of those things, it's not risk-free. Money, a dollar bill in your hand, or a bar of gold or a gold coin, is risk-free. It's just a pure form of money. I actually don't even think of gold as an investment. I think of it as money. When you make an investment, you get some yield, you take some risk, but if you just want to store wealth, gold is the perfect way to do it. That's one way to think about gold. You don't want your stocks and bonds to collapse, but if they do, in a generalized financial panic, you'll be glad you had the gold. But the other thing we do is, and this is why I call it the new case for gold, we've got some 21st century arguments. For example, you know, I run into extremely wealthy individuals and they say, oh, I've got all this money and all this wealth. I say, really, tell me about it. And they say, well, I've got stocks and I've got bonds and I've got this and that. And I say, well, actually, you don't have wealth, you don't have money. What you have are electrons. Well, I have news for these individuals. Our friend Vladimir Putin has a 6,000 member cyber brigade operating outside of Moscow, working day and night to hack and disrupt and potentially destroy digital forms of wealth, close stock exchanges, close banks, erase that wealth in a heartbeat. I'm not saying get completely out of it. I'm just saying that if you don't have some physical, tangible wealth side by side with your digital wealth, you are completely vulnerable to cyber financial warfare. Now, I can tell you, and I was around in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, I remember all the arguments for gold, pro and con, but cyber financial warfare was not one of them. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have the capabilities we had today. We didn't have the reliance on digital assets. One of the things I like about physical gold, and I talk about this in the book, is that you can't hack it. You can't erase it. You can't make it go away. It is what it is. Atomic number 79, gold, it's an element. It's always going to be there. It's actually very hard to destroy, even physically. So we've got a mix of the old familiar arguments where we rebut a lot of the claims that disparage gold. We rebut them and explain why they don't hold up to scrutiny. We make the case for gold as a form of money, as something that should be in your portfolio, if for no other reason than insurance. But gold is going to be more and more important in the years to come. Our financial system is more unstable than ever. We all know what happened in 2008. Well, the problem is that all the problems in 2008 were never fixed. The 5 largest banks in the United States in 2008 today are bigger. They have a larger percentage of the banking assets. They have much larger derivatives books. Everything that was too big to fail in 2008 is bigger today and more prone to failure. This is going to happen again. What I really want to do is give the readers a toolkit. Give them information. Make your own decisions. Read the book and you decide if it's right for you or not. I'm not a gold salesman. I am an author, I am an analyst, and all I really want to do is give people the information, the intellectual toolkit that they need to make their own decisions. I'm very excited about this book. I think it's the right book at the right time. As I say, we call it the new case for gold. Some of the old familiar arguments, some new ones, and I hope you enjoy it.